What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers are back in action against the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta is coming off of a back-to-back. They have no Trae Young. They don't really have a lot of playmakers, offensive engines, but neither do the Lakers, right? Lakers are not going to have LeBron, not going to have Austin Reeves. They will, at least at the time of recording this video, unless something changes, should have Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, right, guy that we've seen can initiate the offense, run the offense for us. Bronny James has actually done a really good job of just being that on-ball defensive point of attack guy. Nick Smith Jr. But when I say we don't have like the ball handlers, right, we don't have Austin Reeves and LeBron James and the playmaking that they provide for the offensive engine. Right, Luka Doncic is kind of the only like real offensive engine that we have. But we've seen this team be able to rally together, even without LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, which was a big concern, a big question of like, hey, we don't really have our playmakers, we don't really have our engine pieces, and still we're able to get the win. But it's a big game, right? This is a big stretch period, right? Lakers are starting a 5-game road trip. They actually play 6 out of their next 7 games on the road. So they have a 5-game road trip, then a game back in LA, and then back on the road in back-to-back games against Utah. They even have a back-to-back during this stretch against, I believe it's the Pelicans and the Bucks off the top of my head. So be nice to get that first win. Lakers are also the only team in the league at the time of this game that's undefeated on the road. Right, Lakers are 4-0 on the road, which I've talked about. Right, like that's huge. You need to be able to win on the road if you want to win a championship. Right. Look at the season that the Lakers got to the conference finals. How did they get there? They won on the road every round except for the one round that they got smacked in because they couldn't win on the road. Right, Miami, same year. How did they go from a play-in team to the NBA Finals? They won on the road. You have to be able to win on the road. Lakers have been a good home team last few seasons. It's the road. Can you get it done on the road? And the Lakers have been the best road team in all of basketball so far. That's without LeBron, without Luka at times, and now without Austin Reeves. So, this team fully expect to buy in, focus, get this win. Again, same rules apply when you have guys missing. Next man up. Can't take this team lightly because look, Atlanta has a lot of guys that they could still light the Lakers up. They have a lot of athleticism, a lot of defense, a lot of versatile, switchable wings. So Lakers, they have to be prepared, right? You're going to have a lot of guys that can kind of match up against some of our guys and just use some athleticism, get out in transition. Lakers have had trouble over the years just being a transition defense. Not having Trae Young will help that regard, but they still have young athletic guys that get out, and Lakers have had issues with young athleticism. So Lakers have a lot of work cut out from them. They have a lot of things that they need to make sure that they're handling and getting done on both sides of the basketball. Atlanta is coming off of a back-to-back in which they lost. So they're going to be extra motivated. They're not going to want to lose back-to-back games, especially at home. They're 4-5 on the season, so they're not going to want to get too far behind the 8 ball either. So you're going to have a motivated, hungry team at home that just came off of a loss that is not going to want to go back-to-back. You're the Lakers. You're on a 5-game win streak. They would love to do everything to put an end to that win streak, right? And now put you in a position to where now you got to start all over, right? Getting that first road win, I think, is very important for this team, right? Lakers have, again, 4 more road games after this. I talked about bare minimum. Lakers got to go, especially without Austin Reeves and stuff on this, and LeBron's not going to be returning on this road trip. You got to go at least 3-2. I would love a 4-1. Right? If you lose to, say, Milwaukee on that back-to-back, I can live with that. You beat these other teams, which all these games are very, very winnable. Right? All of these games are games that the Lakers probably should win, even despite, no Austin Reeves and stuff like that. Lakers have done a phenomenal job just getting things done. So if they do drop a game here and there, it's justified. It's understandable. But you want to kind of continue to win the games that you should be winning. Right? Lakers have also had, I think it's the 5th toughest schedule thus far, and the fact that they're 7-2 shows a lot of promise for this team. But again, you got Atlanta and the Hornets. Those are 2 teams that I think the Lakers should and probably will beat. Then you follow that up with the Thunder who the Lakers have had the Thunder number, and even before we got Luka, now we have Luka, and Luka loves to play the Thunder in OKC. I mean, if it wasn't for the league ejecting Luka out of that game, Lakers probably beat them back to back. And so you look at this Lakers team, and that could be a battle for the 1 seed. So that game could be very important. And then you got the Pelicans and the Bucks before you go play the Jazz twice. Jazz at once at home and then in Utah. But again, it starts with that Atlanta game. You get that first win, follow that up, get the Hornets win. Now you're on a 7-game win streak going into that Thunder game. If at worst you lose to the Thunder and the Bucks, it's understandable. I can live with that. I can deal with that. Got to beat the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Pelicans, in my opinion. You got to beat those 3 teams. You beat those 3 teams, and then you end up beating OKC, or you end up beating Milwaukee, or you end up beating both, then again, just more house money, right? More money in the bank that you have to kind of help you progress into the season. But ideally, if you can win these next 2 games, one, now you're on a 7-game win streak going into the OKC, but you now built that momentum, right? And then if you take an L, it's like, hey, we can live with that. Bounce back against the Pelicans, and then I imagine they probably sit Luka and guys like that. We probably go into the Bucks game with just kind of the bare bones type of situation, and then close that out. But no, again, I don't want to get too far ahead, focusing on Atlanta. This is a game that I do think will be good for the Lakers, right? On the road, Atlanta, young athletic team that has a lot of guys that can just go off, score the basketball, shoot the basketball, apply rim pressure, defend, be switchable, right? This is, I think, a good matchup for the Lakers to kind of, go up against these type of young athletic teams, and to me, it's about, again, just doing the little things, doing the dirty work, making the hustle plays, having key guys play a role, running that 2-man game with Luka and DeAndre Ayton. I think this is a game that DeAndre Ayton can absolutely dominate. I think this is a game where DeAndre Ayton should be able to feast on this team. Luka Doncic is going to be able to do Luka things. And then it's just about other guys, other role players really picking it up and stepping up, right? We need Jake LaRavia, and it'd be nice if Dalton Knecht kind of get his act together, or at least the Charlotte game. How beautiful, how poetic would it be if Dalton Knecht finally woke up on the Charlotte game in Charlotte, and it's like, all it took was him playing Charlotte again to awaken. But, just kind of, again, meet our key guys, step up again. Marcus Smart doing the dirty work, making the hustle plays, making the little impact plays. We had a close call last game, right? Had a couple days to kind of go over film, go over tape, go over things. We've had a couple of close calls, if we're being honest. But, look, as long as you're pulling out the wins, right? You look at the last few. I don't care if you win by 1 or you win by 20, right? Like, last few seasons, those close calls, usually the Lakers lose. So the fact that the Lakers are winning those games that, how many times last year did we see the Lakers, up 20 and end up losing the game? Or even the last few years. Right? It wasn't so much last year because, Lakers won 50 games. You don't win 50 games losing a lot of games that way. But you look at the last few years beyond that, it was like, how many times we see the Lakers just blow leads or the fake comebacks or whatever, and a team finally gets the lead and then we end up losing those games. The fact that the Lakers were able to pull out that win and then pull out the Marcus Smart blunder game, which, look, we're not even in that position if it wasn't for him. But, if we lose that game, it doesn't matter what people don't remember the 20 things you did great in that game. Everyone remembers the one thing you did that cost us that game. So again, like, pulling out those wins, correcting and making, again, every game, just getting a little better. Some of those miscues, cleaning it up. You got to take care of the basketball. It's a team that, again, has the youth, athleticism, length, size, all of that to create turnovers and put us in a position to where we're turning the ball over heavily if we get a little too careless with the basketball. We need to make sure we're protecting the basketball. Hitting free throws, right, is a big thing that the Lakers have struggled with for whatever reason. This season, just not being able to knock down free throws with regularity. But all of these things, Lakers need to kind of start cleaning up. We need to see them kind of clean these things up. It'd be nice to get kind of just a start to finish kind of dominant fashion win. But again, I imagine this is going to be a bit of a rock fight, right? Like you have a young team. Yes, they're coming off of a back-to-back, but they're young enough to where they're not going to be impacted as, if it was a team like, say, the Clippers coming off of a back-to-back where they have a bunch of old guys and it's like, the tired legs and minutes and stuff like that have an effect. This is a team that probably could go back-to-back and still have the energy to go do that because it's just a bunch of young athletic players, right? So Lakers need to take this serious, need to go in there, even though they don't have Trae Young, a couple other guys. This is a game that you need to make sure you're doing your job. You need to go in there, stay focused, stay locked in. Don't take it as like, hey, because you're missing guys too. You're missing Austin Reeves. You're missing LeBron James, Gabe Vincent, Max Kleba, Duke Thero, right? Like you got 5-6 guys out as well. Yes, some of those guys might or might not see minutes, right? But you're missing 2 of your top 3 players and 2 of your best engine players, guys that take pressure off of Luka Doncic and all of those guys. So, this is a game where you need to make sure you're establishing yourself early, coming and bringing out that fire and energy because they're probably going to bring that. They would love to beat the Lakers. Everyone wants to beat the Lakers. Not just that, they'd love to beat the Lakers after losing a game and try to get back to 500 and not lose 2 straight games at home. So it's going to be an interesting spot for the Lakers, but I trust them to get out there and get the win. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.